Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. Our usual live stream on Saturday night. How's it going out there today? It was in the low 40s when I jogged to the store and back a couple hours ago. What's going on out with you? What's going on with you today? Big weekend with the Beatles Anthology.
Mikey says, hi, Sticker
How
family.
you doing, Mikey Arugula? Well, next Wednesday, December 3rd, we're going to have Every Little Thing Beatles episode number 15 with Mikey Arugula. And we have a special guest, Rachel's Ghost, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 3rd.
Polly Hewitt said,
how you doing, Polly Hewitt?
That's it right now. You're good.
Me and Mr. Mayo did an hour and 44-minute live stream a few hours ago about Beatles Anthology. And the big thing is that Steve Westman and Andrew Milton from Polygram Auctions going to do a deep dive into the Beatles Anthology tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube.
Yeah, Mikey said yes. That's good.
What? Oh, this Wednesday?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you show up there, Mikey.
Ariana Rose said, hey, Gramps.
How you doing, Sticker granddaughter?
She's at work.
Kaylee
Davis. Hi, Frank.
Who?
Kaylee Davis, I guess the girl from work.
Yeah. How you doing, Kaylee?
And then
Guess you're closing the store tonight, I think.
North Carolina Vinyl Picker. Good evening, Frank and Son.
How you doing there, Arthur?
Johnny Ramone, yo. Little Beatles Corner. Hello, Sticker Clan and friends.
There's one for you, Arthur. A Led Zeppelin 4 album, Zosa, with a rare hype sticker, that orange hype sticker. Got a hold of that last week. I've never seen that hype sticker before. The titles of all the songs on a Led Zeppelin 4.
Nowhere Man. Hi, Frank. Thomas Crook, hello from snowy and windy Illinois.
Snowy and windy, yeah, I don't know if I'd want to be north. The polar cap's almost where Chicago is now. So in a while, we're going to give, I got two of these in, we're going to give one of these sealed, just released Beatles Anthology 8 CD box set. Says it was made in Germany. I opened up the other one. I'm going to play it in the car the next few days.
North Carolina Vinyl Picker said, I'll have to keep an eye out for it, Frank, talking about the Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. I've never seen that before. First time I've seen that pop up on the internet in 20 years. We talked about that on the record store day releases on Black Friday. The retired DJ from the East Coast got a hold of some things for me. I got the Bob Dylan album coming, Free Willin' with the 4 withdrawn tracks. I got the Icona Pop featuring Charlie XCX, the 12-inch of I Love It coming. One of my top 10 favorite bangers from the 21st century. I got the Billie Eilish EP coming, and of course I had to get the Chapel Roan 7-inch of the Subway with the Giver on the backs coming from Record Store Day. And I'm doing a trade with him for those Record Store Days. I might be getting the Rolling Stones of the how do you recall that? Zolotrope of their Satanic Majesty's request. But the retired DJ was interested in my sealed Apple singles from 1975, and he wants the Rolling Stones with the hype sticker for Honky Tonk Women. That's the Through the Dark Pastly Volume 2 from 1969. And he wanted the Rolling Stones with the hype sticker for between the buttons. It says between the buttons of Rolling Stones, including Ruby Tuesday. And he wanted he was into hype stickers like I am. He wants and Arthur is from the, that's on the chat.
Oh, Arthur Cohen?
No.
No, which one? Oh, the Arthur mustache.
No, the Arthur, I met it in
the Arthur
North Carolina.
Oh, the North Carolina vinyl picker.
North Carolina vinyl picker.
Yeah.
And the Rolling Stones 1960, early 1966 album, mono with the hype sticker for Get Off My Cloud.
I'm the Paul Should Not Be Allowed to Go. It said, yesterday I got a beautiful mono 1957 Crown Records first album by B.B. King called Singing the Blues. And it doesn't have his signature guitar.
Oh.
That he named Lucille.
So that was Uncle Paul?
No, that was Paul Should Not Be Allowed to Die.
So Uncle Paul
said that Universal screwed up my anthology order after a week. They only sent the CD set, and I'm now waiting on another shipment.
Wow. That's not good. That's from the Beatles store? Uncle Paul's Beatles Pop Playhouse. That's his card. I just got this in, but we worked out a deal on this. This is part of that warehouse find of Rick Rand and Marty Eck from the late 80s of these Beatles talc powders. It's full of talc powder still and has no wear. I don't know if there's 80 of these in the world, but there can't be too many when they found those 2 cases of warehouse find in the 1980s. This is a 1963 item from England, and it was in a warehouse, I guess, for almost 20 years. Or more.
He said the Paul Should Not Be Allowed said the day before he found the Doors' first album mono, but the cover had some ring wear.
There's Mikey Arugula. Check out Mikey Arugula's new short videos. He's got some funny ones. He's got a guy that he knows singing Why Don't We Do It in the Road Today. Way to go, Mikey.
Yes, Beatles site. Excellent. Thank you, Frank. Talcott looks great. Talking about that.
Oh, the talc powder. All right. Show some things. Got to talk about the Beatles Anthology, all the other episodes that I watched. Have all of you out there watched all 9 episodes of the Beatles Anthology on Disney Plus? Mikey Rugel, how many have you seen so far? All right, we got the Billboard a few days ago, November 19th. That was 10 days ago, put out a top 10, or they put out the top 50 rock bands of all time. The Billboard put out a chart. I got the top 11 listed here. Number 11 was The Who. Number 10 was Nirvana. Number 9, Black Sabbath. Number 8, Sly and the Family Stone. Number 7, U2. Number 6, Fleetwood Mac. Number 5, Queen. And then we get into the 4, what do you call them? Mount Rushmore. The 4 rock bands of all time would be on Mount Rushmore. You know who they are, you just don't know the order. Number 4, Pink Floyd. I'm trying to get a Pink Floyd First Press Dark Side of the Moon from the United Kingdom that's going off in a few days, but it's going to cost a lot of money. Number 3 is Led Zeppelin. Number 2, the Rolling Stones. And number 1, the Beatles.
Johnny Ramone Jr. said all 9 episodes. Danny Goldstein said, hi folks, I just finished number 4.
You got some catching up
Uncle
there, Danny.
Paul said, I like the new ending on episode 8 with John quote.
Yeah.
And then Thomas Crook said he saw the whole thing.
All right. Yeah, I didn't get much sleep this week. I saw all 9 of them as soon as they were released. So I was up from 3 to 6 in the morning for 3 nights in a row here. That was different for me.
Danny said the Who would have been higher if they didn't make a fool of themselves in the last year. Talking about on that list.
When did they make a fool of themselves? This last year? Maybe that's what he's talking about.
And then Daniel.
Yeah, the bit about Roger Daltrey refusing to play Pinball Wizard at a concert was pretty bizarre.
Firing Zach.
He played, Firing Zach, but instead of playing Pinball Wizard, he played Dazed by the Kinks.
And then Daniel Castillo said, if we're talking about amount of hits, then Creedence should be on the list.
Creedence was in the top 20. I think they were number 15. All right, here's a quick rundown on, I don't want to give too much away, but what really hit me, episode 4, the Hollywood Bowl, where they did All My Lovin', had A+ sound, but they did take a lot of the screaming away, so it didn't make sense to me to hear a Hollywood Bowl without much screaming. Meeting Up Bob Dylan, that was extended. Big thing with Meeting Up with Elvis. Beatles for Sale. They pushed Beatles for Sale a lot more in the documentary. All the individual albums, they pushed a lot more in the documentary. But Beatles for Sale, they have some Babies in Black UK TV footage that I've never seen before.
Mikey said he's only saw 6 episodes so far, so he hasn't watched the last 3.
You haven't seen, you've seen what we're going to talk about in a second. Help, they had a big section on the Help movie, or the Help album. They were pushing the music a lot more, it seemed like, in this new edit of the anthology. They had a lot of unreleased studio chatter between the Beatles that I've never heard before in this documentary. The Blackpool Night Out, when they do Help Yesterday and Act Naturally, that had A+ sound. They really did a great job, Giles Martin and Peter Jackson, of remixing the sound. And then the MBEs, when they won those awards, they had extended footage on that. And that was episode 4. Episode 4 was 54 minutes long. Episode 5 was 54 minutes long. And now we're into the Shea Stadium footage. The highlight of the whole Beatles documentary for me. The sound was amazing. I don't know if they went into the original soundboard or if they went into the CTS studio in 1966 when the Beatles re-recorded their instruments, or they went into some of the Hollywood Bowl live tracks, but the sound on Twist and Shout, Babies in Black, I'm Down, and Help, it was so emotional for me. So the harmonies and John on the organ on I'm Down was just amazing on this new remastered version of Shea Stadium in this documentary.
So Mikey said sound and clarity of the pictures at Shea were great.
Yeah.
Danny Goldstein said incredible sound on the Long Tall, Sally in Sweden, best performance ever.
The Sweden, September 30th, 1963, Swedish drop-in. That was amazing. But they didn't show as many songs on it, but the Long Tall Sally was great. All right, a few other notes. Rubber Soul, was extended, where they talked about the Rubber Soul album, and the Revolver was extended. That Yellow Submarine demo of John Lennon was pretty amazing that they played in the documentary. Tomorrow Never Knows. The Nowhere Man, where they did live in Munich, Germany, had A+ sound. You could really hear George's and Paul vocals on the mic. You could really hear that a lot better on this new remaster. And Guess I better not talk about everything because some of you haven't seen everything. The Tokyo, they showed rock and roll music playing live and Paperback Writer. And I thought through this whole documentary there was a lot more Neil Aspinall interviews than there were in the original cut.
So Dave Evans said, Frank, hope you and your family had a great Thanksgiving. Really appreciate you and your friendship. Really enjoy all the great music we enjoy. It inspires us all.
Yep. Dave Evans are going to get this Wings Greatest UK version, UK pressing that I love so much, 1978. I'm going to get that out in the mail to you Monday. I got a CD recorder. I'm going to try to make a CD recording of it tomorrow to play in my car. We talked about episode 5. The Philippines, the Manila, the footage just seemed to be a lot more extended. They thought that a lot of people on YouTube thought it was going to be cut down, but it seemed like they extended the footage of all that happened in Manila that terrible day. And episode 6 was 57 minutes long. I won't talk about this too much if you guys haven't seen it. Episode 7 was 59 minutes long. Episode 6, somebody disagreed with me about the Meryl Streep where they showed her in the footage of the Shea Stadium interview where she's sitting next to the girl, or she's standing next to the girl being interviewed. And I put on somebody's YouTube chat, that's Meryl Streep standing next to her. And somebody said, it couldn't be Meryl Streep. She was at the 1965 Shea Stadium concert. And so I replied, well, she must have been at the 65 and 66 because that is definitely Meryl Streep. The Cincinnati, something local to me, the Cincinnati Crosley footage in the Cincinnati Crosley Fields footage from August 21st, 1966. There was quite a lot of that in the Beatles Anthology. Candlestick Park, they didn't have much of that. Strawberry Fields, seems like they had a lot of footage and montage of pictures from the Sgt. Pepper recording that I've never seen before. And of course, the day in the life and the All You Need Is Love. The outtake of Strawberry Fields was at the end of episode 6.
Mikey said it looked like her for sure at 66.
Yeah. So you agree with me that had to be Meryl Streep, don't you? Episode 7 was 59 minutes long. You get into the Summer of Love and them going to India. And the White Album, seemed like the White Album, they had a lot of footage that's never seen before that Peter Jackson got a hold of. And the Revolution, the remastered video audio of the promo of Revolution was A+, I thought.
Paul should not be allowed to die. A guy said Signor, what's the name? Eisver, what's his name? Sigourney Weaver, that's how it's right.
Yeah.
Was it the concert 8 days?
Yeah, but the what I'm talking about in they show a clip of interviewing a girl at the 1966 Shea Stadium and Meryl Streep standing right next to her. Episode 8 is 53 minutes long. The Hey Jude is remastered, but there's a lot of talk over of interviews with the Beatles that kind of interrupts the Hey Jude, but they figured we've all seen it a million times before. The Hey Jude that was on the with David Frost introducing the Beatles. The Let It Be, they used a lot of Get Back footage that wasn't in the original documentary. And the Let It Be, I thought the Let It Be, when they played the Let It Be track from the movie, they remastered and remixed the sound. I thought the Let It Be and the Long and Winding Road, it sounded like a different take or something than from the original documentary.
Johnny Ramone said, who saw Whoopi Goldberg at the Shea Stadium? Question mark. And then Mikey said no one, so I'm guessing he was just being an idiot.
And episode 9, that is very emotional. Episode 9 is terrific. That's all I guess I better say. If you haven't seen episode 9, you're going to see things you've never seen before. You're going to see the Threedles, Paul, Ringo, and George goofing around a lot in the studio. And you're going to see a helter-skelter performance from 1968 that you've never seen before. And I won't go into all this. And you're going to see George trying to take the Mickey out of Paul a lot in that footage from 1994 and 1995. They still weren't getting along. But George didn't take him long to get him going at Paul. Paul just kind of blew it off a little bit. And then it ends with Paul and George and Ringo singing Ain't She Sweet at Friar Park. What a way to end the documentary. And then the last track played through the credits was Sgt. Pepper's Reprise.
So Dana Casillo said, if there's no footage from India, is it even worth watching?
There is footage from India, but it's not as much as it was in the original.
And then Mikey
Anthology.
said, I saw a preview of 9. George bugged me.
George bugged him?
Yeah.
Yeah, George is the star of episode 9, pretty much.
And then off topic, Uncle Paul said, I know a remembrance of George today who passed on November 29, 2001.
Gotcha. He was 58? Or how old was George when he died? I thought they said he was 58, but I could be wrong. I talked about the notes.
Uncle Paul tomorrow will be my youngest 8th birthday, so his youngest grandson will be turning 8 tomorrow.
All right.
Dallas.
8 years old. So some of these things I got on the table. I was going to talk more about the anthology, but since a lot of you haven't seen the episode 9, I thought it's best not to talk about it very much. I'll talk about it more on the Every Little Thing Beatles episode number 15 with Mikey Arugula.
I guess Mikey said because he started smoke at age 11, ashamed.
George did?
Yeah, I guess that's what he's talking about. Yeah. And you were right, Uncle Paul. Hard to believe it's been 24 years, yeah. Appreciate it, Uncle Paul.
So another UK pressing I got in today is a first press UK Let It Be with a red apple and the -2 in the dead wax. Let It Be is not one of my favorite Beatles albums, but on this pressing, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. The Phil Spector mix. And we got another UK pressing of 1975 of the laminated cover of John Lennon, Shaved Fish. It's got a 1U in the dead wax.
So Giant Mom said, Joe Mayo, spoiler, good on you, Frank, for keeping a lid on it all. Who's still watching. So that's good. They're glad you didn't give everything. Now, Wednesday,
you have to, your homework is to watch all episodes before Wednesday. We're not going to hold anything back on Wednesday. Mikey, you got to watch the last 3 before
Mikey
Wednesday.
said, I thought the first pressing had a red label, or a red apple.
It does have a red apple on the back, but in England, they didn't have a red apple on the label. They had a green apple. You're thinking of the USA, Let It Be. And the last, I talked about the shaved fish. And then my local man, Dave, bought this right away, my Taiwan pressing of yesterday and today. Look how flimsy that cover is. Just made out of paper. That's different. Now it's got a red label. Mikey. And we also got a sealed, one of the last box sets that had the Blu-ray in it for the White Album. This is one box set where the CD box set is worth more than the album box set because it has the Blu-ray and all the outtakes. It's 6 CDs where the album is only 4 LPs. All right, let's do this contest. We got at least 30 people watching or something.
Yeah, 31.
Here's the contest to win this Beatles Anthology.
Oh, you got the sealed one over there. This is the open one. Do you want to show the open one?
No, I should have shown.
That's what I thought.
3 questions on the Beatles Anthology. If you don't have this 8 CD box set that just came out. Uncle Paul's got it. He just got it in the mail. Uncle Paul, you're not allowed to win this.
Little Beatles question. George Harrison's mom also died in her late 50s from cancer.
Louise Harrison. Trivia questions. Number 1. Who in the Beatles camp have been working on the Beatles Anthology video project since 1970? That's number 1. Have to have all your answers in the same message to win. Number 2, who was the opening act, also managed by Brian Epstein, at the Beatles concert in 1963 when Derek Taylor first saw the Beatles in concert? One of the opening acts was also managed by Brian Epstein. What was the name of the group? And number 3, this one's a little difficult because I always check my Billboard charts. What number in the top 10 is the Beatles Anthology 4 at next week on the Billboard charts in England? What number? There, I'll say it once again. Who in the Beatles camp had been working on the Beatles Anthology video project since 1970? What was his name? Number 2, who was the opening act, also managed by Brian Epstein, the first time Derek Taylor saw the Beatles in concert in 1963? And what number in the top 10 is the Beatles Anthology 4 single, the album release, Anthology 4? What next on the next week's Billboard charts in England? What number is it? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10? Anybody answer?
No. Mikey went out there and said the last answer is 9, but I'm not saying if that's right or wrong. He's just out there saying his opinion.
Okay. Got to have all 3 answers, Mikey, in the same message. Anybody else?
Alright, so you got Wolfie Baby.
Wolfie Baby's here tonight. How you doing, Wolfie Baby? Klaus Orman, no. You're wrong on Wolfie Baby. You don't have any of them right. Anybody else? Greg, my hero. You got one of them right. And Mikey had one of them right. Oh, Danny Goldstein, you got, you're close.
Beatles Corner.
Nope. Thomas Crook, nope. I gave you guys a hint. Nowhere Man, nope. Anybody else? Mikey, you should sneak in and win that one. Anybody else?
Nope.
Nope.
Is that it?
Goldstein, Danny Goldstein's got it.
Good job, Danny.
Mikey gave you guys the hint.
I know. I tried to play it off, and then he was like, "Oh, Mikey has one of them, right?" I'm like,
number
what?
9. It's number 9. It's number 9. Beatles Anthology number 4 is number 9 on the UK charts next week. The Beatles Anthology, the whole box set is number... The Beatles Anthology box set is number 29 on the charts in England next week. And the blue album, give me that blue album down there. It even made the Beatles 1967 to 70 is number 58 on the Billboard UK charts next week. Way to go, Danny
T-shirt said,
Golson.
hello, everyone. Danny said, nah, give it to Mikey. I had no clue on the last one and listen to Mikey.
Mikey, do you need the CD box set? I can send it, Mikey, with the Teen Beat that you wanted and the English map. I can pull it out there.
Mikey said it's okay. I don't know what he means.
I'll send it to you, Mikey. You can listen to it in your car.
Oh, he said he needs it, so yeah, he'll take it.
And the map. Send all three of those out to you on Monday.
There you go, Mikey. Great job. Great job, Danny.
Mikey had it right away, number 9. I don't know if he knew it or he just, because the Beatles, they always, that's the clue in the Beatles, number 9, number 9. That's probably why Mikey said it. Mikey was trying to be kidding about it, but he had the right answer. All right, we talked about Anthology. What else can we show? The mail got kind of messed up on my butcher covers coming in. It was in Louisville, and now it left Louisville.
He said he heard it on the news today.
Oh, he heard it on the news today?
So that's how he found out.
All right.
T-shirt asked what he missed before you jump into that. Did he miss anything you just talked about?
Talked about the Anthology.
Anthology stuff.
Yeah. What do you want to know about there, Polly from T-Shirt Express?
Yeah, right there.
Polly, we got one shirt left of yours, of your sweatshirts left of the Paul or the Beatles. Stamp out the Beatles. I noticed that somebody that's got 12,000 views on his Anthology discussion was wearing this sweatshirt there, Polly. So this is the only butcher cover I got left. My first state butcher cover, Mono Stratton number 2. It's still in the factory shrink. All the other butchers have sold. But I got a couple coming in, monos that I'm gonna peel.
By the way, Danny Goldstein said, by the way, folks, Sir Paul smiled at my Stamp Out the Beatles sweatshirt at the first Montreal show.
All right, way to go, Danny. He didn't read any signs, you said, in either one of the shows of the Montreal. And then Patricia from Little Beatles Corner saw Paul's last show in the United States in Chicago. And she said he messed up some of the lyrics to Blackbird.
Which is crazy. Because you would think out of all that, so what is he going to get right?
A couple other things that I've got in. Mikey might like this. It's a pretty weird Beatlemania with the Schoolboys. Don't know if Jimmy Nichols, on some of these Beatle albums like this, Jimmy Nichols is playing drums. They were recorded in England.
Mikey said he did read his sign.
Did what?
He did read his signs, what Mikey said.
I don't know what we're talking about.
About Danny's sign when he said he didn't read the sign.
Yeah, but he didn't read it. He read them, but he didn't acknowledge them and read out the sign.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, he did that. He used to, every concert, he would talk about one sign in particular, but he doesn't do that anymore. Right?
Oh, okay.
So I Want to Hold Your Hand, 1964 Beatlemania. I think Mazzy or somebody said that when they told their parents they wanted a Beatles album, they would bring back something like this instead of Meet the Beatles, because they were selling these things right next to Meet the Beatles in the record store. I have one of my top 5 wants of all time. I got coming in from England, a first pressing UK of Ziggy Stardust. David Bowie. This isn't Ziggy Stardust, but I have it coming in next week from England. Did you know that on Ziggy Stardust, it's the only pressing made from the master tapes that doesn't have a dropout, is the UK pressing. All the copy tapes they sent to other countries had a dropout, and the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. That was one of my favorite albums. I love the music from 1963 to 1973, that decade, ending with Dark Side of the Moon and Ziggy Stardust.
Mikey said his father brought him home fake Beatle albums because they were 99 cents.
Yeah, and so an album like that.
Yeah.
Beatle Ron sent me a Christmas present. Got this in the mail. I sealed Ed Broody original 1965 exclusive talk album with the Dave Clark 5. So thanks a lot, Beatle Ron. It's a pretty cool Christmas present.
Paul should not be allowed to guide. I want to know your opinion. Would you buy something new with the shrink and a red orange label, or a sealed 80s pressing Beatles story that $30 Canadian? Which would you buy?
Or which one?
The something new with the shrink and the red orange label, or a sealed 80s pressing of the Beatles story.
The orange label is 78. You're not much difference no matter what. It's about the same time period. I would go with the orange label though, because I like the late 70s pressings. 80s, you're getting it too close to the digital area. That's my opinion. We got the Sgt. Pepper. We got the Rubber Soul with the double banner. We got, I showed the hype stickers last time. The German pressings. You've seen my Beatles White Album, the Holland pressing before. And so this is the rare, I've only had this a few times in my life, with the double banner on top of the Rubber Soul. It's probably 67. Not a first pressing, but it's a mistake when they went from the original ones were gold banner, and then the later pressings had the white banner, or it could be the other way around, but there's a few of them they press that have both banners on top.
Joey Mom said, yeah, Frank, Wing's greatest on CD, sounds amazing, enjoy it in the car.
Yep. I'm trying to make of that hot stamper, make a CD copy of it. So this has got Rubber Soul with the Beatles on the label. So this is probably a 66 pressing. The very first pressings of Rubber Soul didn't have the Beatles on the labels. They figured they didn't need to put that on there because they would know it's the Beatles anyway, and then Capitol Records must have changed their mind to put the Beatles on the label. And we got the Sgt. Pepper 2017. This is the anniversary edition remix by Giles Martin, but it has the 2-record set that's got the second record with all the outtakes in the same order. That pressing's hard to find now.
So he said the orange label is the Capital Orange Target label.
But that's probably a 78, 76, but it's a 70s pressing. I don't dwell much in the USA pressings at Capitol besides the Butcher cover and the White Album and Introducing the Beatles and Meet the Beatles. Other than that, I don't have much interest in the USA pressings. I go after the UK.
Make sure you give us a like out there for all the hard work that he puts in. I appreciate it.
Yep, thanks. Appreciate it. Show my tube cuts one more time, my 1981 tube cuts. Somebody was confused on those today. They said that UK pressings cannot have a gold label, a label with a gold on it after 1970. but this is one time they broke the rule when they made these mono pressings in '81. The black and gold Parlophone label. The only difference in the originals, they got mono right up there, and those aren't on the original UK pressing. They only say the PMC, they don't say mono. And he agreed with me that the Sgt. Pepper tube cut is the best best pressing ever of Sgt. Pepper. Hear it in that mono mix. -1, tube cut on Sgt. Pepper. One time I had a Sgt. Pepper original pressing from England. That had no day in the life on the label. I should have never sold that one. I've never seen one since. When the BBC banned Day in the Life, it was on the record, but it wasn't on the label.
The Paul Should Not Be Allowed to Die guy said they are Canadian pressings.
Canadian pressings, I don't buy Canadian pressings. Somebody tried to tell me they had a butcher cover underneath the Canadian pressing. I said that doesn't exist. There were only a few prototypes butcher covers in Canada that were given to the president of Capitol Records in Canada. None of them got out to the public. All right, we'll just do 5 more minutes. You got any questions about Anthology? There's my photo prints one more time. I'll show that on my... Well, I thought that they only made 8,500 of these, but now the Beatles stores got them back in stock, so they must have gone higher than 8,500. I guess Uncle Paul's got these prints in the smaller prints that go with the CDs. So you got the first one, the Beatles would be early there, would be early '63, I guess, at the stairs at EMI Studios.
So Danny Goldstein said he has a Canadian My Bonnie.
Yeah, there's a Canadian My Bonnie. But no Canadian butcher covers out to the public. And then that's the Beatles when they were recording A Hard Day's Night. And the Sgt. Pepper era, when all the mustaches all of a sudden appeared. And then, if I can say this right, Tiltonhurst Park Estate, where John Lennon lived for a few years there, in London, where the last photo session was taken. And Linda McCartney was about 8 months pregnant at the time. That is number 649 out of 8,500, but now supposedly the Beatles store has printed up more, so I guess they're going higher than 8,500 now. And I said how the number 4 volume by itself has gone to number 9 on the charts. If I can pull that out of there. Number 4. I'm going to listen to these in the car on that CD box that I opened up. I usually just play my UK pressings of, and I'll be playing my mono UK pressings tube cut. I did listen to Danny Goldstein. I did listen to that last track on the PJ Proby album. Yeah, that's a little strange. These things don't hardly want to fit back in there.
So DB said there's still no dates for the Fest for Beatles 2016. When should the dates come out? Who knows? I mean, we're all kind of waiting on the same thing.
So this went to number 9 on the charts in England next week. I don't know about the USA. They haven't released the Billboard charts. They don't usually release them until Tuesday.
Johnny Ramone Jr. said, does 2017 Sgt. Pepper's inners have the red marble inner sleeve part
Yes,
with Parlophone?
they have 2 of them. Is that what you're talking about?
I guess, yeah. He said 2017.
Yeah, they got two red inner sleeves. It's sealed. I'm not going to open it up. Let's see if I have a psychedelic inner sleeve here. Not at the moment. Don't have one here right with me right now. All right, any other questions for me? Remember Wednesday, December 3rd, we'll talk about all the anthologies. I'll be listening to this, the CDs, get caught up on that, and all of you got to do your homework and watch all 9 episodes of the anthology. And Rachel's Ghost will be our special guest at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight, and see you later.